So for the first part, for the images or figures, you need to know that this was our previous example. I'm using the same document. If you have no idea what this is about, please refer to our previous videos. So the Japanese dollar yen here is actually backslash. I'm using a Japanese laptop, so it appears as yen instead of backslash. So to input graphics, I strongly suggest you use this package. It allows you to put in, for example, EPS images, and you have basically more control on your images. So this is a sample of a small document. There's nothing much in here. You can compile this, and this is the document. There's nothing much. It's just this, a small one. This chapter 1 introduction. So I want to put a figure somewhere at the middle of these two paragraphs. So to put a figure, the first thing you need to know is to have the image. So obviously you have to have your JPEG, for example. You can use EPS, you can use PDF. Okay. However, for the PDF latex, as far as I know, they can only accept most of the files, but not EPS. I'm not so sure if it will change over time, but at the moment it will accept PDF, JPEG. That should be fine. So I'm going to use this file called bb1 rabi normal.jpg. So to input that in, it's just a very simple command: include graphics. Okay, you have some option that you can put in here. I'll teach you a bit later. So input graphics curly bracket, and all you need to do is write the file name. So it's bb1 rabi normal. You don't need to write JPEG or PDF or EPS, but you just write that part, and here you go. Okay, so now it's putting it as the normal size without any compression in size. So if you like to resize them, that is where the optional square brackets come in. So you can type width, for example, and you can type some width perhaps in cm. So I can try putting it as 3 cm. You can also adjust it by other size. Okay, so now this is 3 cm. It's pretty small. What I like to do is actually, instead of writing in centimeters, I like to put it as backslash line width. So line width means this is your line, your text, so it's the same width as your text. So that's a pretty good way to actually select the size for your image. So you can see that my width of my image is now the same of my text. I'm not so sure if this is a little bit bigger. Okay, you can always make it a little bit smaller, for example 0.9 of your line width. Okay, so that's 0.9. Okay, but I'm just going to leave it as line width. It's a little bit bigger, but it's okay. So that image alone, unfortunately, is not enough, because as you can see, there is no numbering, there's no caption, and I'm not actually sure if this is centered. I don't think so. Normally I have a few quotes inside. So what are the quotes that we normally put in? First is you have a begin environment, and as I have mentioned, you have an aim. So the environment is called figure. So this will give it a number. So if I run this, then you will see it will become, this chapter is called, it should have a figure here. Actually it should have been figure 1. I'm not so sure why there's no figure. So begin figure, then you have something that we can put as option as well. So these options are actually, I want it to be here in between these two paragraphs. So if I press this, okay, now it's here back again. Just now it was a whole new page. Okay, so H is means here, T means at the top of the page. So if you put this, it can appear at the top of the page. It's more of like free to move around. B is for bottom, and P is for new page. So you can also put a few options. You can actually put H or P or B. Okay, so you will try to either put it here or you will try to put it at the bottom. Okay, let's say you really want it to be placed here, then you can put an exclamation mark. So that tells LaTeX, try your best to put it here. Okay, so when you run this, okay, there's no change because, well, it's already here and it's successfully here. I normally put another code which is called centering, so that will help make sure that my image is actually in the center. Okay, for the next part of my figure, there's a few more things that I will put in. First is a caption. So caption, this is a decaying Rabi oscillation, and you will see the numbering appearing for this figure now together with the caption. Earlier there was no caption, that's why. So now this is figure 1.1, it's automatic. I don't need to worry about the numbers. Okay. The last part that you should put in is also a label. So a label is basically a name for this. So since I know what it's called, so this is BB1 Rabi normal. Okay. And when you want to write a text referring to this figure, then you will use this label. Okay. So this label is actually pretty important. So let's say now in this one, okay, this is a comment. I'm going to write it here. Okay, let's put it after the comment. The results are presented in figure. Okay, I don't need to write what figure it is. I have a tilde there. If you don't remember what it's for, please check my previous video. Okay, so this is BB1 Rabi normal. Okay, this image shows a decaying Rabi oscillation due to decoherences. Okay, so now the code is basically backslash reference ref, curly bracket, and the label. So this is easier to follow when you're putting specific names for your images, then you can recall them easier. Okay, you know this is called BB1 and this is called Rabi and this is for normal. So it makes sense to the author. So now when I run this, you will find that here, figure 1.1. So now let's say if you have a lot of figures. So this is in the same directory, in the same folder as this file. This file is number 03. So this is as the same folder. So you can just cite it as it is. You can also put it in another folder, for example, under figures. So when you put it in another folder, okay, so, let's copy this. So once you have this code, you can just basically reuse it anytime. Okay, so now at the name here, HAHN, okay, you need to put figures. Okay, just let me try this out. Okay, there you go. So this tells it that the dot tells it the same directory. Okay, this initial directory followed by this to tell it it's actually a subfolder in this directory, which is figures, and the name of the file is called Han, hence echo. Okay, so I'm just going to change this, the pulse sequence for a spin echo, and this is spin echo. Okay, I'm going to remove this space. Okay, and then this code decoherence can be partially suppressed or corrected by using the spin echo sequence. See figure ref. Okay, I'm going to write spin echo, and okay. So now it's going to appear in this page, okay, because there's not enough here. So now this is figure 1.2. Okay, so let's say if you add new figures in between or anything, the numbering will then be updated automatically. Now other word processors also have these features, but for some I realized that the more images, the more pages you have, it becomes a bit heavy for the word processor to actually do this automatically. So this, for LaTeX, this is not a problem. I have no problems at all with this referencing method. Okay, and it's one of the good features of LaTeX. So when you run this again, you can change a few settings. For example, now since this is quite a large image, perhaps I want it to be always one page. I don't want it to be in between of anywhere. Okay, so that will make it as it is one page. Or I can put it off half of a line width. Okay, I can try to put it here, the same location. Let's have a look. Okay, so this is about half of the line width. So I don't need to worry about anything else. So I'm just going to copy some additional text here. Okay, I'm just copying some random text, then you can see how it looks like. Okay, so everything is adjusted automatically. It's nice, it's simple, but you just need to know what are the commands. For the next part, I'm going to show you how to put in a table. Okay, so we have our document here, and this is our file. So now, in order to actually add a table, similar to the figure, we have this begin figure environment, end figure environment. Okay, so for table, the command, let's have a look. So this is one of my common resource for checking on LaTeX, on learning on LaTeX. Okay, so this is by Tobias Itaker, the not so short introduction to LaTeX 2E. Okay, it has a very good. It's a very good reference. I was using it last time when I first learned about LaTeX. I go through page by page. You can do the same as well. So now the command that we are going to use is called begin tabular. POS means the position and tables back. Okay, so let's have a look at how this works. So you have begin tabular and tabular. Now, to have a horizontal line, we use the command hline. So that's a horizontal line. Okay. To actually have a vertical line, later I'll show you how to do it. Okay. More importantly is that when you have this command, you need to define how many columns you have in your table. So for example, you have one column which is centered. Okay, the second column which is also centered. So that's what it means here. So L, R, C is left, right, centered. So left left align, right align, C for centered. So let's just try a couple. Okay, so just now I mentioned to you how to put a horizontal line. To put a vertical line, you need to put this straight line here. Okay, so that adds a vertical line, a border on the left side. This adds a border in the middle. This is left, remember? Okay, so that way you have 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, 3 columns, 4 lines, and then you can have a top line and a middle line. Okay, so you can write, for example, so double backslash means that it's a new row. Okay, so let's say number, first column, the second column is separated by the n sign. Okay, so this n sign means now we are moving on to the next column. So let's put item price 1, 2, 3. Okay, and maybe let's add another one, right. Okay, I'm going to leave the right without a border. Okay, total. So now after this, it's the next line, so you have to add this. So you can put it at the end here, double backslash. Okay, that's why we cannot use backslash for our normal text, because it's actually used for something else. So double backslash means next row. Okay, so item number 1, apple, price is, I don't know, how much is RM2 ringgit, total is, let's say 10 ringgit. Next item, oranges, here's some random number, 250, and total is 1250. Maybe that's a discount or something. Okay, so you can add 2 H line, which means that you have 2 horizontal line. Okay, so let's compile and see what I get. Okay, so you can see here. So that's our table. So if you remember, there is 1 horizontal line at the top. There is this. So I can just throw this away. Okay, so now there is no spacing over there. So let's put a double border for that. Okay, and beneath here let's put another border. Okay, so you can see the first is centered. Okay, I can put this as left align. Okay, item, okay, let's put this as left align. So that is how it works. It will automatically adjust the column size to the text. Okay, so if you want this to actually how to say, add another, for example, another border here. Okay, so you just need to do that, and then you have that already. Okay, but if you realize you still have a few things missing. First, you don't have a caption. So typically for the caption, it's at the top area. Okay, so let me / caption is the same. This is the list of items. Okay, and if you compile this, okay, it doesn't work because the tabular is just to create the table. The caption is for like the figure, you have the caption. So that means now you don't have the object to the command to actually create the table yet. So that is actually begin table, and as usual at the end here you have to close in table. So the table environment gives the numbering, allows you to put caption, allows you to put centering, to actually center your table. Okay, and the tabular is the command to actually add the table. Okay, so now if you realize this has a question mark and this is still red, that means you cannot run the next one because it's actually waiting for your input. So you can just press this abort. Okay, and then now you save this and then you type play. There you go. Oh, okay, it's still missing. I forgot to put in the border. Okay, so now this is a full table, but like the figure, when you want to have a reference to it, then you have to actually write C table, and the code is ref. Okay, so you need to give a label for this so that you can actually reference it. Label. So the label actually works for figures, and it works for almost everywhere. So normally for me, I'll just write tab to actually differentiate table and figures. So tab is table items. Okay, so I put this here. Okay, and when you compile, table 1.1. Okay, which will automatically be referenced to this. Now, it's actually quite difficult to type out your table. Okay, because you have to, and it's actually quite hard to see your tables when it's actually, you have many columns and something like that. You have to use the and sign, so that's quite difficult. So what I normally do is I'll just go to online and I just find latex table generator or something like that. Okay, and you have all these wonderful websites that you write and stuff here, and so you can actually do temp, item, price, quantity, and total. For example, 1, 2, 3, price is, let's say, 12, then 5.50, and then 9-10 cents, and this is quantity. Let's put in some numbers. Okay, and total is 24. Okay, I'm just going to write some random numbers. Okay, so now when you click, in this case you click generate, then you see everything has been generated automatically. You can add borders. Okay, in some case you can merge some cells, or you can split some cells. Okay, and then now you have this. You just need to copy this, paste it in your text, and you're good to go. Okay, so you have your table command already, you have your tabular environment there. Oh wait, I copied the wrong one. This doesn't have any. I need to click generate one more time. Okay, because it was missing the line in between. So copy, paste. This is, I don't need to put this. I need to put a label though. Okay, label, table, new items, and I'm going to, okay, new items, I'm just going to put it like that. C table this, and reference. Okay, so you can see there's no centering here. There's no caption as well. Okay, so you need a caption. So that's the difference between with and without centering. Caption. This is the update the price of the items, for example. Run this. There you go. Okay, so that is how you create tables for LaTeX. To do citations in your document, there are a few ways to do it. The most common method is to use bibtext. So if you look up here where you compile, okay, that's this play button here. You have PDF LaTeX, that's your compiler. You have a make index, that's another program compiler to make the index for the file. And you have another one called bibtext. So bibtext is what we are going to use to do your citations. Okay, so to do that, you have to do a few things. First, you have to write in the code bibliography. Okay, and here you have to write a file name. So I have prepared one file here. Okay, okay, never mind, I can just prepare a new one. It will be a good example. So my bib2, and I like to rename it as .bib. Okay, now when you open this, it's a blank file, obviously. Okay, so there's nothing in there. Okay, and that is, well, this is my bib2. Okay, and you have to declare the style, bibliography, so style, and so one of the common one is unsorted. So if you're using UTM Thesis, we have the style for numbering or sorting by author. So you can actually choose which style you want. If you are writing for a journal, normally the journal will have their own style. You can actually use their style. Okay, so here you have this unsorted style and you need to fill them up. So I got a few right here now. Okay, these are my own papers as just an example. Okay, so this tells you what kind of object is this. So this is, in the case, is article. There's also article, so there's also book. There's various types of categories that you can put in. Okay, this first text is the label. So it's the similar label like you use for referencing with the tables, with the figures. You have this label here, so that's the label. Okay, so in order to use this, first you have to save this file. Okay, copy out this name here, and where you wish to cite, you type cite this. Okay, and if you have to cite more than one, you just copy the other one as well and you put it. So now the order doesn't really matter because it will help you to readjust the numbering and whatnot. Okay, on which one comes first. It will take a few rounds of compiling. And here, number 1, number 2. Okay, so that's number 1 and number 2. And now you have another page called bibliography. Okay, so if let's say you are citing, in this case you are citing, okay, I'm using this one, bib2 now. Okay, so let's say you are citing this somewhere else. Okay, you can go up here. So the second one is this one. Okay, the longer one. So let's say you cite it somewhere in the caption. Okay, now let's just put it here, cite, curly bracket. Okay, and you compile it again, the numbering will change. So because this appeared first, so now this will appear as number 1 and this is number 2, and likewise the text will also change. Okay, so where is number 1? Okay, here's number 1. Okay, and something like that. So how do you actually get all of these documents here, or this information? Well, my common method is to actually find it in Google Scholar. So let's say if you have you search for a particular document, you see these two quote unquote sign. Okay, you click on that and you'll get this. So these are things that you can just copy and paste it somewhere. But for our case, what we want is called bib text here. So you click on bib text, then it will give you this. Okay, you can copy this and paste this into your document as such. And remember to save this file. Okay, you don't need to compile, just saving will be sufficient. And you can use it anywhere. For example, site. Oops, I forgot to copy this. Only this. Save this, run. Okay, and it should be reflected on what is. So now this numbering is opposite. Okay, so you can either change it on this side here so that it appears in the correct order, or perhaps you can go online to search how to actually change the ordering. So number 1 is here, this is number 3, number 2 is somewhere in between here, qubits. Where's number 2? Okay, number 2 is here. Okay, so number 2 is here. So if you want to put it before the full stop, you just put the full stop behind there. Okay, and it will appear in this manner. Okay, so there are other formats that you can use. For example, if you cite consecutive numbers like 1, 2, 3, okay, instead of it appearing all numbers 1, 2, and 3, you can actually do formatting 1 until 3. So this one, I think all of it will appear, but there's another settings that you can put in so that it will appear 1-3 instead of 1, 2, 3. So there are many things that you can explore with this.